Hello! So in today's video I've created a pink smoky eye with a glitter cut crease. If you want to see how I got this look, then just keep on watching. To prime my eyes I'm using the P.Louise base in shade 2. I'm just patting that on with a concealer brush, and then I'm grabbing a fluffier brush with no product on it. I'm just patting that on top until it starts to set. So today I'm going in with the Morphe James Charles palette, just dipping into that pink shade there and blending that into my crease. I'm just going back in with that shade until I get the colour payoff that I'm after. I'm now going in with some Fenty Beauty blotting powder, just patting that onto the edges to help the shades blend seamlessly. To blend the edges I'm going in with this baby pink shade. I'm just blending this shade in to diffuse any harsh lines from the last shade. I'm going back and forth between those two shades until I'm happy with each colour and how they blend together. Going into that magenta shade there, I'm applying that closer in the crease to bring a deeper pop of pink to the look. And then of course going back in with the first two shades of pink, just to keep everything blended nicely together. I wanted to deepen that pink even more, so I've gone in with this plum shade from the Juvia's Place Masquerade mini palette. I'm just blending that tightly in the crease. And now I'm going in with all those colours again to keep everything blended and all those colours showing. To add some nice depth to this look, I'm going in with this almost black brown shade from the James Charles palette. I'm applying that very lightly on the outer corner of my eye. With the excess product, I'm just lightly blending that into my crease. Once that shade is on there, I'm going in with the other shades again to keep everything together seamlessly. To cut my crease, I'm using the P.Louise base in the shade 2. So I'd done a cut crease, but I didn't like it, so I thought I'd share with you how to fix this. Literally all I'm doing is going in with all those colours again until that harsh line is gone. When cutting my crease, I like to place it directly under that darker shade, but not too high. I'm just lightly patting, being careful not to move too much. Once I've got my shape, I fill it in, not going too close to the outer corner, as I need space there for adding depth. I'm just blending all those shades onto the edge of that concealer, so there's no harsh lines. I'm applying glitter today, so I will need some glue for it to stick to. I'm using the NYX Professional Makeup Glitter Primer. I'm applying that directly on top of the concealer. The glitter I'm using is the NYX Face and Body in Crystal. I'm applying that carefully bit by bit with a small detail brush. Just dipping into that dark brown shade again. On a small detail brush, I'm patting that onto my outer corner to add depth. I wanted that glitter slightly closer to the edge, so I'm just adding some more glue and then the glitter. I'm just going back in with that dark shade again and then blending all the colours on the edge. Now I'm curling my lashes to prep them for mascara. For mascara, I'm using the Ico London Waterproof Sport Mascara. For lashes, I'm using the Ardell Fox Mink Wispies. The glue I'm using to apply them is the House of Lashes Lash Glue in Clear. I'm just applying an even line along the lash band and leaving it a few seconds to get tacky. When applying lashes, I like to hold them directly above my lash and drop them on top. I then go in with tweezers to precisely apply them. To blend my lashes and false lashes together, I like to lightly press them together with a lash curler in a pulsing motion. To remove any fallout, I'm going in with some makeup remover and cotton. To prime my face, I'm using the Barry M Unicorn Primer Drops, just rubbing that in circular motions and then patting it. For foundation, I'm using the Estee Lauder Double Wear in the shade Ecru. I've finally got one that fits my shade. I really miss the sunbeds. I'm just patting that in with a damp beauty sponge. For concealer, I'm mixing the Benefit Cakeless in shade 2 with Tarte Shape Tape in Fair Neutral. I'm just patting that in with a damp beauty sponge until it starts to set. I like to go over my face with the remaining product. To set my entire face, I'm using the Too Faced Born This Way Loose Setting Powder in Translucent. I'm applying that in a patting motion. I'm using that same loose setting powder just to lightly bake my under eyes and catch any fallout. I'm now going in with the colours we used on the lid and applying them just under my lash line, starting with the bright pink and blending the edges with the baby pink. Now I'm blending those two shades in with the shadow on the lid to bring the look together. And then going in with a dark brown on a flat detail brush to get that right under the lash line. And now going back in with that flat brush to pack on the dark brown to the outer corner, and then smoothing it out with a fluffier brush. I'm just going back in with that baby pink to blend the edges and smooth it out. I'm just dusting that bake off so I can do the rest of my face. For bronzer and contour, I'm using the Benefit Hoola Light. I'm applying that in circular motions, keeping it as close to the hairline as I can. I apply it bit by bit so I'm not applying too much and making it mucky. When doing my contour, I like to imagine I've got a line going from the top of my ear running straight down to the side of my lip, but not going past the end of my brow. This helps me apply it in the right place. I like to go over my jawline lightly with the excess product. To add some depth to my bronzer and contour, I like to go in with the original Hoola bronzer and apply that lightly to the edges. I like to go back in with the fluffier brushes we used before just to diffuse things and blend it together nicely. To sharpen my contour, I like to go in with some translucent powder on a flat brush, applying that in a straight line directly under. For blush, I'm using the Saharan Volume 2 blush palette by Juvia's Place. I like to mix those two shades on the right. When applying blush, I place it slightly on top of my contour and just above. I think this looks really nice. I like to further blend it all together by using a big fluffy brush. I'm just going back in with some translucent powder to further bake, because I like to leave this until the end. Now I'm setting my brows with the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. For highlighter, I'm using the Offra Glazed Donut in collaboration with Nikki Tutorials. I'm applying that to my inner corners, brow bone, nose, tops of my cheeks, just above my brows and my chin. I'm just removing that foundation off my lips with a makeup wipe and then priming my lips with the Too Faced Lip Injection Lip Plumper. The lip combo I'm using is MAC Morning Coffee Lip Pencil and MAC Honey Love Matte Lipstick. I like to clean around my lipstick with a flat brush and some concealer. This makes your lips look more plump and very sharp. Now I'm dusting off that bake to reveal a snatched contour. And now very carefully I'm applying some mascara to my bottom lashes. Just trying to dry that mascara faster. Once my lipstick's done, I like to apply some highlighter to my Cupid's bow, and then the rest of my face again. So I got some mascara there, which I left to dry. You can easily scrape this off with a spoolie. So now I'm just setting my face with the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. This helps keep your makeup in place all night. That's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!